Okay, another question. I'm wondering what makes something worthy of an EIP. For instance, EIP 30, which is the DEXI stablecoin framework, seems to be an application rather than a standard for the core protocol. What would you say makes something worthy of an EIP?
All right, so good question actually, because there is no clear answer still, right? So we don't have some strict rules yet. So basically, EIPs are usually about defining some standards like EIP 3, right, which describes how to issue tokens, right? So how to put metadata into issuing transactions for applications to be processed correctly. Then there are EIPs for node modifications like EIP1, right, for custom scans. There are EIPs for different features. Well, again, kind of industrial standards like Ergo Pay, Ergo Auth, so EIP 28, and so on. Right, so there is EIP for multi-signature, right? Well, again, to have better understanding, right, and the support from different applications. And then, yeah, so around Sigma USD launch, well, EIP on Sigma USD and then DEX contracts. So they were made, right, in order to well, have a description, right, of certain things like how bootstrapping of contracts were done and which contracts were actually used, right? So if you want to build an external application on top of Ergo DEX, right? So you know what's used there. Right, so maybe, well, in future, so if some big application will have its own ecosystem, it will have own, well, improvement proposals, right? But yeah, currently, so EIPs are used. Right, so maybe at some point there will be a need for separation, right? So we will have EIPs, for example, and maybe Ergo application standards, right, with scripts and so on. Right, maybe one of the reason why Ergo has it and others are not usually is, well, composability, right? So yeah, also there is EIP for Oracle pools. So yeah, in regards with composability, right? So if you know what are the contracts, right? So you can build your own application, right? Working with Oracle pools, working with Sigma USD, working with Ergo DEX, and so on. And yeah, so it's simpler to define such things, well, in comparison with Ethereum, for example, right? Where you have, well, pretty big contracts, right? And well, it's not quite possible to understand them, right, fully. And yeah, in regards with interaction, there are some well-known interfaces, but then yeah, this interaction is standardized. Yeah, so in case of Ergo, yeah, it's kind of more flexible and non-standardized interaction usually.
That's a good question. I think it does ultimately break down to composability and, having the ability to plug multiple pieces, parts together in a standardized way.
Yeah, so for Ergodocs and maybe some other applications, maybe we can have a hackathon, right? So even propose tasks for the upcoming hackathon. So to build some external applications on top of them.